I have been telling you these people are addicted to attention. I've been telling you they will do anything to get their fix. Doesn't matter what type of attention they are receiving, doesn't have to be positive. Matter of fact, most of the time, the attention they receive is negative. This has got to be the reason why Jemele Hill, Smelly Jemele, this has got to be the reason why she would say something this stupid. You cannot convince me that Jemele Hill actually believes this. Believe it or not, Jemele Hill is an intelligent woman. She's very smart. Unlike parishioners of woke United Methodists like Areva Martin, Jemele Hill, she's got a brain that produces coherent thoughts. They might be illogical thoughts. They might have absolutely no basis in reality, but at least they're coherent. At least you can comprehend the lie she is trying to spread. Well, KC, who in the hell is Aretha Martin? Areva is what I like to call a hidden parishioner. Like her fearless leader, John Biden, the deacons, they prefer to keep Areva hidden in the woke dungeon. They don't want her making public appearances. Like Jemele Hill, Areva is a race baiter. 5 years ago, she accused David Webb of having white privilege. There was just one problem, one tiny problem with that false narrative. David Webb is a black dude. To her credit, though, Jemele Hill, she's not dumb enough to get caught in a situation like that. But one thing Smelly Jemele doesn't mind doing, she does not mind lying. And yesterday on Twitter, the Smelly Wonder, she came up with a lie that is so baseless. The deacons, they couldn't justify accusing the people criticizing her of mythical racism. If you haven't already, make sure to like and subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter at KC_BTL84. If I had to guess, I would estimate that 90% of the mainstream media is woke. I wouldn't be surprised if that number was closer to 95%. Several months ago, there was a study done on the dying business of late night comedy. Can't remember the exact numbers in the study, but something like 80 to 90% of the guests on late night television, they spend their Sunday mornings worshiping the woke oak tree. And they wonder why late night television is a huge embarrassing failure. Right now, the Democrats are looking for someone, anyone, to blame for their self-created disaster. For 5 or 6 hours every day, John Biden publicly humiliates himself. The other 18 or 19 hours, he's asleep. Or he's wandering aimlessly through a meadow looking for an emotional support goat to call his friend. They can't replace John Biden because option number 2 is even worse. If we were electing a cackling doofus, Cam Harris, she would win that election in a landslide. But we're electing a president, someone who needs the ability to lead, someone who can speak in a language that people actually understand. They can't replace Cam Harris either because she checks too many woke boxes. If they replaced Cam, there would be a civil war breaking out at woke United Methodist. There would be so many charges of mythical racism and mythical misogyny. Woke municipal court, it would be backed up for months. Hell, they wouldn't even have the time to try to convict Donald Trump, Orange Man Bad, because they would be far too busy convicting each other. Right now, they are looking for someone to blame for this self-created mess. And Smelly Jemele? She has come up with the perfect defendant to charge. According to Jemele Hill, it's not John Biden's fault that he is losing to the Trumper. It's not cackling Cam's fault. No! It's not even the Democratic Party's fault, the people responsible for creating this embarrassing failure to begin with. According to Smelly Jemele, we should be blaming the woke media for the many failures of John Biden. Check it out for yourself. Johnny's issue isn't that he can't explain his accomplishments, he just doesn't have any. But that's not the reason he's losing this election. It's the media's fault, damn it! That damn media, they're so biased. They want to see Johnny lose, and they really don't like Cam. It's so painful, damn you! Where do I even begin? For starters, it's not surprising that Jemele Hill would blame the mainstream media for this. I would imagine that some of this is personal. I mean, this is the same media that refuses to give Jemele Hill a job. Remember when she pressured Spotify into giving her woke welfare? She wanted them to pay an exorbitant amount of money for her streaming turd of a podcast that no one was listening to. I can't remember the title of that garbage. Maybe it was Jemele Smells or Unbothered. I think it was Unbothered because there was damn sure no one bothering to listen to it. Same goes with that table proper that she called a memoir. If I remember correctly, Smelly Jemele was only able to convince around 5,000 people to accept a free copy of her book. As it turns out, there's just not a big market for millionaires lecturing working class people about their white privilege. But anyway, Spotify, they gave Jemele Hill a temporary donation of woke welfare, sympathy money, a tax write-off, and after a few months, they politely told Jemele Hill that she was fired. As talented of a writer as she is, Jemele Hill, she can't land a job as an intern in the mainstream media. So maybe there's a little bit of personal animosity here with Smelly Jemele blaming the media for John Biden's failures. According to Jemele Hill, the mainstream media, it is a vast conservative echo chamber that drowns out the voices of the deacons at Woke United Methodist. Well, that's interesting. Let's take a look at this logically. Outside of Fox News, the largest and most influential media outlets are MSNBC, NBC News, the New York Times, USA Today, the Washington Post, ABC, and CBS. Well, Casey, what about CNN? Oh, what about CNN? I said largest and most influential. Ratings are so bad at CNN, they are no longer competing with Fox News and MSNBC. CNN, they are now competing with News Nation, home to Chris Cuomo. Hey, it's me, Chrissy C! Jemele Hill claimed that Fox, Newsmax, and OAN, they are promoting the Trumper 24 hours a day. And the Democrats, they don't have an equal platform to spread their propaganda. First of all, what the hell is OAN? Is that One America News, or didn't that used to be WGN in Chicago or something? Are they even in business anymore? How in the hell could they spread Trump's message 24 hours a day if they're not even on the air 24 hours a day? Newsmax, Newsmax is decent, but let's just be real here. No one's watching Newsmax. Seriously, name one primetime host at Newsmax. They used to have that dude from Fox News, Eric the Bowler, but he either quit or he got fired back in May. No one noticed, no one cared because no one was watching his show. Now, it is true that Fox News is the most influential network in cable news, but you want to know why Fox is so successful? You want to know why Fox News averages 2-3 million viewers in prime time? Because for 2 or 3 decades, they were the only alternative. The rest of the mainstream media, they split the woke audience, and Fox, they had a decades-long head start cornering the conservative market. When Jemele Hill received resistance on Twitter yesterday from people pointing out CNN and MSNBC, she tried to justify her propaganda by claiming that both networks, CNN and MSNBC, both networks have shifted their focus to appeal to normal people. Basically, Jemele Hill claimed that MSNBC and CNN are abandoning the wanker spankers. MSNBC hired Ronna McDaniel. CNN is trying to be more like Fox News. Our propaganda machines are disappearing. How will we lie to the people? Really? Really? You're claiming MSNBC is appealing to normal people by hiring Ronald McDonald after she was fired by the RNC after years of embarrassing failure? Well, KC, Ronald wasn't fired. She resigned. She stepped down. Yeah, she stepped down after Vivek Ramaswamy exposed her on national television. Not even Uncle Mittens could save her from that humiliation. Hell, I wouldn't be relying on Uncle Mittens to save anything. Mitt Romney's the weakest politician I've ever seen. At least John Biden has his age to blame for his increasing weakness. Mittens, he's just soft. MSNBC, they hired Ronna McDaniel for what, 48 hours? They immediately fired her after Joy Reid and Rachel Maddow rode their brooms into management's office and complained about a Republican working at their network. And don't even get me started with CNN. How in the hell is CNN being like Fox News? Because they moderated the presidential debate fairly? They didn't have a choice. The Titanic is literally sinking. If CNN gave even the slightest hint of bias during that debate, their ratings would go from almost nothing to nothing. The primary insinuation here from Jemele Hill, and look, she's not the only one, but the insinuation is the mainstream media turning on John Biden, it is handing the election to Donald Trump. Yeah, I don't think Trump needs the assistance of the woke media to beat John Biden. If John Biden was running this election unopposed, he would still find a way to lose. This is one of the biggest problems right now in the Democratic Party. This is also one of the problems that you run into when you base decisions on identity politics. Their biggest problem right now, they refuse to accept responsibility for the mess they created. And part of the reason they are refusing to accept responsibility, they're afraid of being charged with violating the woke commandments. Can't turn your back on John Biden, that's ageism. Can't turn your back on Cam Harris, that's racism and misogyny. Like I told you guys a few weeks ago, they are stuck. Remember a couple of days ago when I mentioned Cam Harris being the only option to replace John Biden because she's the only one who can access the money that he's raised to this point? I looked into that further, and that appears to be true, which means they are stuck with either John Biden or Cam Harris, two unappealing options that have no chance of winning this election. But give me your thoughts on this. Jemele Hill blames the woke media for the failure of the Biden campaign. Smelly Jemele claims that the media is a conservative echo chamber, and poor Johnny B, he has no platform to talk about his many accomplishments. What accomplishments? Someone give me one positive contribution that John Biden has made as president. Just give me one. Tell me one thing he has gotten right. Sound off in the comments below. Like, subscribe, share the video. Appreciate your support. Best way to contact me is by email at btlkc84@gmail.com, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.